Mud, and this is my cheat sheet for Tuesday, December the 13th. Alright, so the good news is during the holidays we tend to have a good time once we get to where we're going. The problem is getting to where we're going. Get this, we're at least 300% more likely to become a victim of identity theft while traveling, and especially during the holidays. Here are the places where we tend to trip up the most. Number one, airports. Second, hotels. And third, restaurants. Now, where we tend to trip up the most, and both the airports and the hotels have this in common, if you jump on unsecured wireless networks and you start doing things like checking your bills, well, guess what? If somebody's on that network that can grab that information, they've got your username and password and account information. Plus, they know how much money you have on certain charge accounts and how much money you might have in a bank account if you went to visit there. So you've got to be super smart about doing that. Secondly, if you leave anything, the second biggest reason we become a victim in those places is we actually leave something. Like maybe you leave your smartphone, or maybe you leave a laptop, or worse, a wallet or a purse. You're leaving those in an airport or in the hotel itself. And here's the other one, restaurants. So often we get careless and we will leave information, whether it's a credit card, in some cases the purse and the wallet again. But here's the big thing, and the recommendation. Don't keep anything extra in your wallet while you're traveling on the road. You know, especially if you're traveling for the holidays, probably not going international, you don't have a passport even. Don't take your Social Security card with you. Experts warn to take no more than 2 credit cards with you, and even try to keep the cash at a minimum as well, so you aren't as much of a target. All right, moving along from the identity theft, here's something that's a creeping crud, our electric bills. Get this, ending last year, we are paying more for electricity relative to inflation than we have at any time since the late 1970s in hyperinflation. In fact, for 5 consecutive years as a country, the rate that we're paying for electricity has grown well above the rate of inflation, now up to around $1,400 on average per household. The good news is, in Florida, we are in the bottom 10 states in the country in terms of what we have to pay for our electricity, but it's still been increasing at an average rate of between 4 and 5%, and inflation's been running at less than that for the past few years. So keep that in mind that, like everything else, we continue to pay more for the very basics than we tend to be making extra in income. Here's something that you'll be happy with. Don't you ever get annoyed when you have those suddenly loud commercials that came out of that otherwise nice TV show you're watching? That all comes to an end today. First talked about the story nearly a year ago today, and the FCC today is set to pass regulations banning any TV networks or cable or satellite outfits from accepting levels for TV commercials that are different than the average of the rest of the programming and the rest of the commercials on the television station. So that era should very soon be over. Thank you, God. And isn't it annoying when you're like laying on the couch or half asleep and then sometimes you're like, wow. Ugh. Okay. Kindle Fire update real quick. As expected, early sales, it has made it the #2 tablet to the Apple iPad. Here's the not so good news though. Some of the early reviews are not so hot, and the big reason is it's kind of slow in loading stuff. Amazon is saying that they have an update coming that will help speed up the machine. And by the way, if you have a Nook Color, big update. The biggest update to date was released last night. Go ahead and get this thing uploaded. New partnership with Netflix, among other things. That's the cheat sheet for today. We shall see you tomorrow.